What's going on, YouTube fam? I hope all is well. Hopefully, you all can hear me. Hello, everyone. Let me check the audio from my phone just to make sure it's coming through clearly. Then we're going to go live on Instagram too, y'all. So, y'all bear with me 1 second. How's you all Sunday going? You having a good Sunday? Let me know in the chat. Give me a moment. Then we're going to jump on IG too. Okay. We're good. All right, let's move to IG. So we'll have both streams up and running. Let's see. IG. It should work if I just okay. Good stuff. What's going on, family? Hey IG, I hope all is well. The name of this video is a game plan for change, y'all. Hope you're having a fantastic. Hey sis, I'm glad you're here. A game plan for change. What's going on? What's up? What's up? Thanks for joining. What's good? What's good? Today we're gonna jump into. I don't know if you got a chance to see my latest video. I hadn't dropped a video in front of my camera in months. Just taking some time to rest. But I talked a little bit about. Okay, you said you hear me loud and clear. Awesome. I talked about the importance of change, and it was really called. It was titled #Freedom Friday. The importance of pivoting. Pivoting is simply change. So before we jump into anything, I'm gonna open up with a quick word of prayer, y'all, and then we're gonna move forward. God, thank you for the day. Thank you for your grace and your mercy. Thank you for change. Thank you for the opportunity to grow into who you want us to be. We ask that you continue to lead us and guide us. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. What's going on? What's going on? If y'all have any questions, comments, what's going on, drop it in the chat. I'll let you all know what's happening right now. So Doe for Degrees is a scholarship coaching company where I teach students how to earn scholarships to go to college and graduate debt-free. My name is Danielle Jeffers. I graduated debt-free from Virginia Tech last year in 2019, having earned more than $200,000 in scholarships. I never took out a student loan while I was in college. I graduated with my Bachelor of Arts in Communication and actually ended up winning more than $200,000 in scholarships. Took 5 years to get that done, but it happened. So I'm glad that it happened. The biggest thing that I learned while going through that process was not only the importance of giving back, but the importance of constantly being flexible to what's coming next, because we often can't anticipate what's coming next. So how do you prepare for the unknown? And I'm going to give you a game plan for change. These are a few things I've learned. What's up, Corey? Thanks for joining. These are a few things I've learned in the last 4 months while the coronavirus has been wreaking havoc on the world. But there are also some beautiful things that come with change. If you watch my video, some of this information will sound familiar, but a lot of it is off the cuff and brand new. This is stuff I haven't talked about. Oh, yeah. I didn't call you CLH Green this time. I didn't. I called you Corey. A lot of this stuff is stuff I haven't talked about publicly, but it's a lot of things that have happened in the last, whatever. Don't start, Corey. Don't start. This is a lot of what has happened in the last 4 months, I would say, the lessons I've learned, the knowledge I've gained. And so change is simply pivoting. And I explained it in the video, but pivoting is a business term that means you change or you go in a different direction because you've identified a better solution. What's up, Eric? I hope all is well. And so when you're pivoting in business, it may be like, okay, well, I'm going to run product A like this. For instance, with the lives we do every Sunday at 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's an open forum for people to ask me any questions they have about scholarships. That's an opportunity for people to dig into my brain, ask me about my experience, for me to answer their questions and hopefully give them advice. I teach principles. I don't just give tips and advice. What's the difference between a principle? A principle is a lesson or knowledge you can take and apply to any situation, regardless of what it may be. A tip or a piece of advice may be only applicable to one situation. So for a tip, I would say the FAFSA is opening on October 1st this year, the free application for federal student aid. The tip would be to gather all your materials before October 1st. That means all your financial documents, your tax returns, your parents' tax returns, all of that documentation, have it gathered and to put together before October 1st so that when it's time to submit it, you can get it done within the first 30 days and that's off your plate. The principle to that tip is simply be prepared. Preparation before procrastination. Preparation always wins. If you procrastinate, you miss the opportunity to analyze how you can win and secure your win without opening the door to automatically take an L or lose. So when you don't adequately prepare, you put yourself behind the 8 ball or you position yourself for unexpected and unpredictable obstacles and hurdles that you may not have the ability to overcome. So that's why preparation always beats procrastination, preparation over procrastination. That's the principle. And so for change, if I were to give you a game plan for change, I'm going to open it up like this. And I'll say that the coronavirus is simply change. If we label it that as that, it's a wave of change. No one saw it coming. No one really knew how to handle it. Schools are going and trying to figure out things for the first time in a brand new way. So are universities. Parents are having to teach their children when they have never homeschooled or taught their child in their life. They just send them to school. A lot of things are changing. How do you find balance and how do you navigate that situation in the midst of a bunch of change? Well, the first thing you have to do is to assess your new reality. Point blank, period. My sister's here. I'm going to drop it on IG, sis, and you can drop it on YouTube if you're able to. But the first step to a game plan for change is to assess your new reality. I don't even know how to spell assess. ASSE. Let me see. ESS. I think that's it. God forgive me if I misspelled it. The first step is to assess your new reality. Okay. Now, what does it mean to assess? So in school, we're taught an assessment is simply a test. That we're going to give you an assessment, a standard of learning assessment to assess how much you know, to assess how much you've gained or how much you've learned, whatever. To assess your new reality is simply to look at it and examine it to see what it truly is. What is this asking of you? One thing I said in my video is the first thing you have to be cognitively aware of, you need to know rather, is that, or cognizant of, is that what do I need to learn? If you come into a moment of change or a wave of change and you allow your emotions to fuel you, you'll be wavered off course because your emotions are not solid ground. Your emotions, they flow, they are flexible, they go with how you feel. It's all about how you feel. That's why people say knowledge is powerful. Intuition gives you foresight. Intuition can lead to foresight. Simply intuition is knowing either yourself or knowing what's going on, knowing what's going to happen. Foresight is predicting or being well aware of what's coming next. So when you have an intuition, you're like, I know something's a little off. That's a good way to assess your new reality. So for instance, let's look at a student, and I'm talking specifically to the students. You were forced to go home around about March or April and learn online for the remainder of the semester because a disease or infectious coronavirus disease, however, was spreading rampant across the world. And if someone coughed on you, someone touched you, and they had it, it's highly contagious. There was a high likelihood that you could get it also. So in assessing your new reality and realizing, okay, well, I'm not going to be in the classroom anymore. I'm not going to be around my friends as often as I would. My day-to-day life will look a lot different. What does that require me? Assessments require a lot of questions. Think about a test. A test is all about asking you questions, whether they be true or false, short answer, whether they be fill in the blank, what have you, multiple choice. It's a series of questions to assess your ability to know the things you're supposed to know. And so when assessing your new reality, I hope that student took the time to say, okay, well, online learning is new for me. That's a fact. When taking assessments, it's all about facts and telling the truth. It's all about facts and telling the truth. Can you be truthful and honest with yourself? Assessing your new reality physically. Okay, now I'm in a learning environment that's totally opposite than what I'm used to. I'm the type of student who probably needs one-on-one help or assistance. I need to see my teacher after school or see my teacher right after class to make sure I have a clear understanding of what was taught. This learning environment that I'm in may not be conducive to helping me completely learn and understand all the material because there's TVs going on all the time, or my parents are arguing or fussing or fighting, or people are loud or whatever. So in the midst of assessing your new reality, you're able to gauge what works for you and what doesn't. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to give you what my new reality, assessing my new reality. I was like, okay, the thing I've been doing, the way I've been running dough for degrees, the way I've been doing my life, hectic schedule, boom, 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 with this coronavirus, this isn't going to work anymore. Because it's not uncommon for me to have to work from home. I work from home every day. When I graduated from tech, the day after I graduated, May 18th, I relocated to Woodbridge, Virginia, packed up everything I own in the U-Haul, never driven a U-Haul before, and drove 4.5 hours. Was it 4.5 hours? Yeah, I think it was 4.5 hours north toward DC, Washington, DC, to live in Woodbridge, Virginia, knowing I would be working from home every day. So the coronavirus wasn't really anything new, especially when they said, for me, I'm speaking for myself, y'all. When they said you can only go to the grocery store you can only do essential errands. You can only run essential errands. You can't go out and about. You can't gather with people. I'm like, oh, that's my everyday lifestyle. I'm at home working from home all the time. The only time I really go out is to get a breath of fresh air or to go run errands anyway. So my reality hadn't changed, but what had changed was my business structure. I couldn't do business the way I used to do business. Speaking engagements were one of my largest revenue streams. Well, if you shut the school down and tell the kids that they can't go to school, now I can't go speak in person. So how is my business going to function? That's my new reality. Now I have to flip some things on their head and change some things. So whenever change knocks at your door, whenever it presents itself to you, the first thing you have to do is assess your new reality. Now, before you complete your assessment, you oftentimes have to take some time to deal with your emotions. Because what typically rises up for anyone first is your emotions. Oh my gosh, this is too much. Oh, I hate this. I can't handle this. And we go oftentimes into a state of complaining as a, which can be worse than taking the time to center yourself and find peace. Because when there's chaos and chaos and unpredictability is like a fire. It's like throwing liquid, it's like throwing inflammable liquid on a fire and just making it bigger when you throw chaos and uncertainty into it. But when you mix some peace into it, it's like taking a fire extinguisher and hitting it at the bottom of the flame so that it begins to simmer out. It begins to go out. So when assessing your new reality, assess your emotional state. Are you worried? Are you depressed? Are you anxious? Are you joyful? Are you happy? Are you I don't know, are exhilarated at the fact that something new is going on? Assess your emotional state. But the first thing you have to do after you've done that is the next thing you have to do after you've done that is to control your emotions. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. Don't let your emotions be your guide or the thing that you use to determine whether or not you're going to make this decision or the next. Assess your emotions, see what type of emotional state, but also control them. And put your feet, stand on solid ground and look at the facts of the situation. That it won't always be like this, number one. And number two, it's here to make you better. Your perspective is what gives you the best outlook on change or the situation. So point number two, your game plan for change. Change your perspective, okay? That's point number two, change your perspective. You've assessed your new reality, which simply means you have an understanding of what's going on. You're well aware of what's happening to you. You know why this has changed. You know what the cause of what's the cause of your new reality or your emotional state? Why did you go from being happy one day to being very sad the next? You've assessed your new reality. You know what's going on. But the second thing you have to do is change your perspective. Because change doesn't just come to change your life, but it also changes you. Everyone who's going through this pandemic, we will all come out different. We will all come out with different values. We will see life totally different. We'll be more appreciative of the moments we get to spend with one another, hopefully. We'll be more appreciative of the moments where we get to gather together and smile and laugh and not have to wear masks and gloves. This new reality, this coronavirus, whatever this new reality may be for you in your life, is going to force you to change your perspective on things, point blank, period. For students who are going to college this fall, and the school is telling you, hey, we're going to continue online learning. We're not letting anyone on campus this fall unless you're essential or whatever the case may be. I know a lot of my clients are going through that. They're like, I'm going to have to stay at home my freshman year of college and learn from home. I was trying to get out of this place. I don't want to be here. Change your perspective. I'm not saying everything's going to be a plus. Please don't get me wrong. Everything isn't good when change happens. You identify things that are bad and things you don't like. Okay? But change your perspective. The only way you're going to come out of the situation with a win, a W, come out with a W and not an L and not lose is if you put yourself mentally in a position to win. So dwell or think on the things that are good. Okay, I'm learning from home. Well, hey, this may be an opportunity for me to gauge and see if I really want to study this major. Let me watch some videos. Let me tinker with some things. Let me order some supplies from Amazon and try to do a chemistry experiment or teach myself how to do a chemistry experiment and see if I actually want to major in chemistry. You may not be able to do the internship or externship or shadowing opportunity that you anticipated during this fall or maybe this spring, what have you. Or if you're an athlete, you may not be playing the sport that you thought you would play to put you in position to get drafted next year. Or your season may be cut severely, or the season may be delayed, but change your perspective. Now it's an opportunity for you to train more. Now it's an opportunity for you to prepare more. Now it's an opportunity for you to develop discipline, which is something most people don't like, that will help take you to new and open new doors for you. Because the number one thing we all need in life is endurance. And if you take the time you have right now to learn how to endure and build up your stamina, I promise you, you're going to be set apart when everyone is back on an even playing field. When everyone is back to more in-person type of activity. If you are an athlete and you take the time right now to train harder than you were training before, to put yourself, to cut the speed up on the treadmill, or to increase your water intake, or to increase your protein intake so you're putting on more muscle, even if you're not competing the way you once were competing, if you train as if you know something bigger and better is on the way, I promise you when it's time to get back on the field and play, it will show. It will show. Practice is simply preparation for your performance. And if you haven't practiced adequately, you're putting yourself in a position to lose. So don't take this time and slack off too much. Now, don't get me wrong. Rest is a requirement. So you want to take the time to rest. You want to take the time to sit back and relax and not overwork yourself. But in the midst of that, you also have to make sure you have stamina to endure, because you never know when things are going to change again. And they open the world back up and tell everybody you can go back outside. And you don't want to go and enter into that place not prepared, not ready to flourish and succeed. And so that's why I always say to y'all, preparation over procrastination. Just because your reality doesn't look the same as it once did, doesn't mean you don't need to prepare for what's coming next. It doesn't mean you don't need to get ready for something. You always should be working towards something, whether that's being a better person, whether that's working on your ideas, whatever. You still have to train yourself and discipline yourself to get up and do something and work towards something. Because prior to you having this routine of, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to school this year and get straight A's. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to school this year and win 10 scholarships. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to school this year and yeah. You were working towards something. Don't let that momentum or that motivation you had when things were normal dissipate now that things are different. Y'all follow me? So that's number 2. Change your perspective. Put yourself in a position to win. Because everything we do originates from a thought. If your thoughts are bad, if they're toxic, if they're tainted, whatever you want to call it, I promise you, your actions, the way you respond to situations, your natural behavior will be awesome. But if they're positive, if they're hopeful, if they're joyful, if they're joyous, if they're looking on the brighter side of things, not saying you don't see things as they are. If things are bad, point blank, period. But if they're looking on the brighter side of things, then you're in a position to win. Point blank, period. Mentally, put yourself there where you want to be and then take the steps necessary. Okay, I'm going to take a break and answer any questions y'all have. We have about 12 more minutes left in the live today. But that's the first 2 steps of the game plan. Number 1 is set your new reality. See what's new, see what's different, what's working for you, what hasn't, what's your emotional state, what do you need to change. Number 2, change your perspective. Look at things differently. Still work towards something. Don't slack off. Now, I'm not expecting you to go full throttle when you don't really know what full throttle looks like right now, because things are not the same. But I am expecting you to be consistent and committed to what it was you promised yourself you would do prior to things looking totally different. All right. First 2. Any questions? Y'all let me know. Any questions? Nope. Okay. Cool. Last step. This is the last step I got for y'all. Y'all forgive me. My edges don't lay down. I don't know what's going on. What's up? All right, cool beans. I'll holler at you later too. Be safe. Number three. Monitor your progress. That's the last and final step of change. Monitor your progress. This was a sub at me. No, it wasn't. It was not a sub at you. No star either. Monitor your progress. That's number 3. Monitor your progress. Okay. What does that mean? Let's look at it this way. And to everyone who has been impacted by the coronavirus, if you've been diagnosed with it, if you know someone who's going through it, if you lost someone to it, my prayers go out to you. I am praying for you. I wish you nothing but the best. I believe healing is coming your way and you're going to feel a whole lot better. Things won't always be like this. but monitoring your progress. For those who have been diagnosed with the coronavirus, one thing I've heard and seen on different videos and stuff, they monitor these people extremely closely. Like they're looking at you to see what your vitals are more often than not. They are checking the ventilator if you are on that. They're calling to see what your symptoms are like today. They're monitoring you closely. Anytime we get sick or we have an an injury, we monitor that closely. We look at it to see if it's healing. For instance, the other day, I cut my finger. I cut my finger pretty badly, cut it deeply. Every day I'm looking at it like, oh, is it healing? Should I have went and gotten stitches? What's going on? But I monitor, it's doing better. It's doing better. So you're not just monitoring the situation to look at it and see if it's still working. That's not what monitoring your progress looks like. You're monitoring your progress to see if it's working and helping you accomplish your goals or taking you toward your desired end result. You're measuring it to see if it is carrying you further and carrying you forward and you're not being stagnant. Wherever stagnation is, that means there's no growth. If something has become stagnant or if it's stalled, that's mean it's paused and there's no growth. You always want growth. Change it is like the precursor to growth. You're going to grow one way or another. Hopefully you don't grow the opposite direction. Hopefully you grow up and not down. You become a better person. You learn new things. You become more in tune and aware of what your purpose is. You know how to execute things differently and better than you once did before. You're more effective and efficient. Hopefully change ushers in all of that new stuff in your life. What you don't want is to become stagnant or to frustrate yourself and fall and stay in a depressed state or stay in a down state or stay in a worried position in the midst of change. Because then you can draw it out. And it shouldn't be as long as it could be as if you draw it out. So monitoring your progress. Monitoring your progress helps you avoid drawing out the situation because you can assess, okay, well, this is day 15 and I'm still stuck in the same position I was at day 2. Something needs to give because I can't go another 15, 13, whatever, how many days like this. I need to flip the switch and do something differently. That may take a lot out of you. That may take everything you have to flip the switch and move differently. But I promise you, your goal is to get to your end result. For students, let me look at it this way. Give you an example. If you are saying, okay, well, this fall, this is totally new for me. I've never learned online. I'll be straight honest. I'll be completely honest with y'all. I hate online classes and I teach online all the time. That's what I've been doing through Doe degrees since I started in 2016. I teach online all the time. I hated taking online classes. I had to take an online class when I was at Virginia Tech. It was a business management class. He made us read straight out the textbook. All the answers were in front of me. We had open access to the textbook when we took the test, and I still got to be in the class, whereas I got A's in all my other classes. Why? Because online learning just isn't the best way for me. But I told myself, you know what? At one point, I had a C in the class. I said, I'm not going to get a C in this class when it's online, and I got all the answers right in front of me. Something's got to flip. I got to flip the switch. I need to at least get a B. And so I started monitoring my progress closely and looking at, okay, did I study to understand today or did I study to check the box off of my to-do list? To be honest with you, because if I don't know the material, I don't know the material. That's right, Ed. Flip the switch. Yes, flip the switch. Look at it differently. Not only change your perspective, but make sure you're working toward the goal. And if you need to pivot, if you need to change internally, change it, look at something different, mature a certain aspect of yourself, whether it be your resiliency, your dedication, decrease your ability to be codependent on someone, whatever you need to do, flip the switch and do something differently so you head in the right direction. That's the game plan for change, y'all. I love y'all. It's simple. As simple as that. It's easier said than done. Because it will inevitably, if you follow the game plan, number 1, assess your new reality. Number 2, change your perspective. And number 3, monitor your progress. If you do those things, it's going to introduce you to a new version of yourself. You're going to be a totally different version of who you are. Trust me. All right, y'all. Y'all have any questions, let me know. That's all I have for y'all today, to be completely honest. But I do want to let you know, though everything in the world may be changing, scholarships have not changed at all. They're open every single day of the year. You can apply for as many as you want to. I've been working with students on scholarships they can apply for, and I soon will be announcing more on YouTube that you can apply for too. But scholarships are open every day. The beautiful thing about college is the price point, the sticker price may be different this year because your expenses may be lower. You probably aren't living on campus. If you are, Your sticker price may be a little bit higher than what I'm getting ready to say. But for those who aren't living on campus, the cost of you going to school this year could have been cut by $5,000, $7,000, maybe $10,000, what have you. The beautiful thing about that is you can still apply for scholarships and get an abundance of scholarships to help cover the upcoming terms or any outside expenses that you may incur. Okay? So they're open every day of the year. Now, with this time of the year, we're looking at August. This is the summer. The scholarships you're going to find right now are typically national scholarships. Those are scholarships. Don't start, Eb. You keep coming for me. I'm about to get you. I'm about to get you on Instagram. Those scholarships, national scholarships, a national scholarship is a scholarship that's available for students in the U.S. Anybody from the U.S. they can apply for. Any student who is a U.S. citizen can apply for. Okay, those scholarships, you're going to find them online. During the summer is a lot of doing your own research. It's a lot of preparation for the scholarships you'll apply for in the fall. It's a lot of fine-tuning your resume and doing community service. I talked about community service heavily prior to the summer really jumping off because I wanted you all to know how important that is. You want to continue to do community service regardless of if you're in your natural routine, your normal routine or not. Continue to do community service. But during this summer, you will want to take the time to look and see which local scholarships you're going to apply for when school opens back up in the fall. So there are national scholarships that you can apply for right now. I'm trying to think of any off the top of my head. If you haven't taken the time to visit dofordegrees.com and check out our scholarship spreadsheet, you can put in your information. It should send you an email directly and give you a list. We have a $2 billion plus scholarship spreadsheet. It has more than $2 billion in scholarships, 2 billion with a B. Yeah, it's scholarship opportunities for you to apply for. You can go download that list and see all of them. A lot of them are open right now. Coca-Cola, Eb said the Coca-Cola scholarship, perfect. But in the fall, you're going to want to look for more local scholarships. Gates Scholar, most definitely. It's so many different opportunities, but the local scholarships, look for those now. The ones available in your hometown or the surrounding area. I think Jackie Robinson. Okay. DM me Showtime_JB, and I will get the ones Eb mentioned directly for her. I'm going to screenshot that right quick so I can have that list. And the website I mentioned, though, is Dough for Degrees. DOUGH, the number 4 degrees with an S.com. That's the website I mentioned. Okay. And it's in my bio. Yep. Thanks, Eb. Linktree.g. Well, whatever. This is in my bio. It says website, Dough for Degrees website. All right. That's a great opportunity, great way to prepare. But if you take the time this summer, especially this month of August, seeing which scholarships are going to be open in the fall, the local ones, you'll be ahead of the game because once those open up, you're welcome. In January, they typically closes in April, but some of them do open in October through December. You won't miss them because those are the ones that you win the most money. That's how you win the most money, the local scholarships. I tell y'all all the time, I won more than $100,000 in scholarships as a high school senior. I applied for more than 30 scholarships and won 14 of them, totaling more than $100K in 5 months. 75% of those scholarships were local scholarships. They all came from Danville, Virginia, or the surrounding areas. And I did apply for those scholarships between January and April. Preparation over procrastination. Be ahead of the game. I love y'all. I hope this game plan for change was helpful. I'm so glad to be able to hear my dad say, way to go, my girls. Good stuff. So glad I could help you all. I'll see you all soon. Love you. Be safe.